Excuse me. Hey everyone, welcome back to Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman, and I talk about all things horror. And today I'm tackling the Twilight Zone The Movie. And I am not going to break this one down into this is an anthology. I am not going to break this one down into its individual components. Because by and large, I don't have a hard and fast rule that I don't do anthologies, but by and large, I personally do not like anthologies. And so I want you to go into this movie with as little information as possible other than my recommendation. So, this is based on the TV show, The Twilight Zone. So if you've ever seen The Twilight Zone, the TV show, you know what to expect. These are 20 to 30 minute vignettes. Each one tells a self-contained short story. And they're all loosely tied together with a wraparound story. But I say loosely because it's really like, I don't know. It's not very coherent. However, the individual vignettes are each in their own respective way interesting. If I remember correctly, there are 4 vignettes. The first one is about a racist dude who gets stuck in Vietnam. This one's the weakest of the 4. The second one is a bunch of old people. It's basically Cocoon. They turn into kids again, and they get to experience life as kids again. But then they realize being a kid isn't what it's all cracked up to be when you got the brain of an adult. The third vignette is the best. It is the one with a little boy who has superpowers, who uses his superpowers to get his way. And it's pretty cool. And then the fourth vignette might be the most popular one. It's the one that's most referenced in other movies and popular culture, where you have, I'm going to say, a gremlin, for lack of a better word, on the wing of an airplane, and you have a man who sees the gremlin, and no one else does, and he's freaking out because the monster is tearing up the wing of the plane. So those are the 4 vignettes. And like I said, each one is self-contained, so they're not connected at all. The wraparound isn't really like the opening wraparound has nothing to do with the closing wraparound, other than the guy at the end of the movie is the same guy from the beginning of the movie, but he's like in a different position, different role, different character, blah blah blah. So it's like, I don't know, is it the same or not? I don't know. You got to decide for yourself. That being said, this is a fun movie. This is not at all a scary movie. There is no gore to speak of. In fact, I'm not 100% there's any kills in this movie. There might have been some during the Vietnam segment, but don't quote me on that. So this is not an R-rated. This is a kids movie. This is a intro to horror. Get your kids to watch it to acclimate them to horror. That's what this is. This is baby's first horror. And in that capacity, it works really well. If you're a grown adult, diehard horror fan and you've seen better stuff than this, it might not hold your attention. Now, I grew up with it because this was one of the first horror movies I watched as a kid. This is one of the movies that facilitated my love of the horror genre, even though it's not bloody, gory, violent, or scary. It's fun and interesting. So I liken it to Gremlins. It's, quote, scary to a 6-year-old, but not to an 8-year-old, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is a I recommend this as a buy. You should definitely have this in your collection. It's worth revisiting. I watch it once a year. This is one of my favorite. I don't know how to describe it. This is one of my favorite oddball horror movies. You know, it's not a slasher. It's not a ghost story. It's not a serial killer. It's not a, thriller. It's just it's the Twilight Zone. I mean, I don't know really how else to describe it. Um, but it's a damn good movie, and I highly recommend it. Stay cool.